Hey, Zombro fans, Rawson27 back here for another wonderful week of Zombroz action, and we have just me and Johnny J this week. Oh, it's so sad.
It's a lonely podcast. Oh, we're just going to sit here and cry ourselves to sleep because we have no friends.
I know, no special guest this week, and Matt is out on summer break, so it's a little bit of a disappointment in all the special guests, but we got good topics to talk about, so why not get into it? The first thing that we want to get into here is our thoughts on cross-platform gaming, how it would affect zombies and the Easter eggs and the DLC releases. What has happened, in case you guys are unaware, is very recently Xbox or Microsoft decided, hey, we're up for cross-game platforms. So what that means is if you're on Xbox, you can play with players on PC. The first game that was going to be tested was Rocket League, and they made this open invitation, like if any other consoles and platforms out there want to do this, go ahead and contact us and we'll work it out. And what they're referring to is, hey, Sony, let's do this. That was really Steam, Sony, Microsoft all getting together saying, let's have cross-gaming. How do you think is going to impact Easter eggs and playing with other people, DLC releases in the future, John?
Well, let me just real quickly mention with the Rocket League thing. Rocket League has been cross-platform since it came out. It was originally a PS3 and PC exclusive, and then I think it just recently came to the Xbox One. Well, ever since the game came out, you've always been able to play with PS3 players, and they just have like a little PSY net where their name should be, or actually no, where their icon should be. And I don't know what PlayStation players see when they play a PC player, but it's not a rare thing. And I'll tell you that I think I'm a console elitist, unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
I love my PC. It's very near and dear to my heart, and I always look down on the PS4 players when I see them in Rocket League. It's not that they're inferior gamers. It's just that they're lesser than me. No, I say that jokingly. No, I think it's a good thing. Of course, we'll get a bigger player base. This one means better matchmaking. I think is there still skill-based matchmaking? Is that a thing, or did they remove that?
I don't know. I would not be the expert on that. I know they've talked a lot about skill-based matchmaking in the past and present, but I'm not sure. I know PC it's very difficult to get matches right now for Call of Duty Zombies. So, I mean, this alone would liven it up. A lot more people would have better servers, especially when they're only working with one server. I mean, I think this could make it easier, potentially. I don't know. I'm not a developer, but potentially easier to set up servers and get people in games and set up the matchmaking when they don't have to do it for 3 different services. They can just have one service and provide it.
Yeah, it'll be a much better experience. I mean, you're going to get a better connection just because there's going to be a larger player base, and you'll also be playing against better players. And this is nice, I think, in the long term, because right now we don't really need a larger player base. It's pretty large as is. However, maybe we want to go back and play Black Ops 3 years down the line. We've suddenly tripled our player base if we expand it to all 3 consoles. For example, I can't go back and play Advanced Warfare multiplayer. I know that I'm not even kidding. I do want to legitimately go back and play that game, but it's impossible to find a lobby on the PC. There are literally none available. But if we were able to open up the doors to PS4 and Xbox One players, maybe I'd find a lobby. I'm all for it.
It makes sense to me, and I think it's interesting, though, how it will play out and affect our DLCs now. It's because Sony has their exclusivity, so it'll probably play very similar in those playlists that you'll have, DLC exclusive playlists. People will be able to see the maps, but they can't download the maps. They can't access that stuff, and it might cause the typical dissent, but eventually maybe they'll decide if everyone's playing with each other, we release it at the same time again, just like back in the old days in 2008. World at War was the last game to do that. Call of Duty 4 also was another game where everyone got the DLCs at the exact same time, no matter the console or platform. That's something I would love to see return. I think a lot of people would love to see that return as well.
Oh, it'd be great. My PS4 would become a dust collector just like my Xbox One. Oh, man. Oh, man. Think about it, though. We'd be getting 1080p, 60 FPS, and max res zombies initially.
Oh my
That'd be great. The quality of videos in terms of just video would be fantastic on day one.
That would be very, very
And
exciting.
you wouldn't have to suffer through console download times because it is so much, especially on the Xbox. Like that was a drag on the Xbox 360. I might have to wait sometimes an hour for some DLC.
That's insane because I had the opposite situation where it actually was quicker on Xbox than it was for PS3 3 for me to download all the DLCs over time. I remember Ascension, all those things, download it within maybe 5 minutes for me on Xbox, and sometimes it would take upwards of 30 minutes on PS3.
Did it automatically install for you on the PS4? I feel like it did this year, and that was a nice feature. Or did I make this up?
Let me think. I think the whole downloading install thing, I think they took that step out because we used to get a download install, and it just does install now. I'm pretty sure it just took out telling you I'm downloading it. I'm pretty sure it downloads and installs at the same time. That's why people liked Xbox 360 so much, because when you downloaded it, it was done. Where PS3, you download it, you get to 100%, and then you start over, and then you have to install it. And you were like, oh my lord, really? Really? I just want to play my game.
For some reason, though, I remember it being a much faster and smoother process. Maybe I made that up. I'm not entirely sure, but I like how this affects Easter eggs, because suddenly this includes another 2/3 of the community into the process. If we thought we were solving Easter eggs quickly before then, we're going to do it in a snap now, because everybody will be able to jump on.
Think about that. We now have an open pool of, instead of, let's just pretend, 10,000 people that are interested in playing the Easter egg. Just about the first 5 hours it releases, about 10,000 different people are trying to figure out the Easter egg. Multiply by 3. Maybe the PC crowd's not as big, so we'll call that 5,000.
That's definitely smaller.
So we'll say about 25,000 people now looking instantly, plus all those communities. So just like you're no longer alienating Xbox and PC from testing things out as well. Boy, oh boy, these Easter eggs are...
Oh, wait a minute. No, these Easter eggs will be cracked immediately because the PC guys will be able to get into the actual files.
Well, if they continue to label the Easter eggs in such ways and they don't take ways and precautions to prevent data mining at that point, because this isn't anything that's going to happen right now, obviously enough. This is future. This is cross-gaming for zombies, maybe the next Treyarch release, and maybe by that time we'll have better security to guard against data mining for recent Easter eggs. It's one thing when it's out for years, and then if you can data mine and we can get our mods through that stuff, a lot of what we've been able to accomplish with like the Black Ops 1 mods that have been resurfacing lately. We had the Nova 6 one release that was amazing, really fun. You guys probably can check that out. It was on my channel a couple days ago. And then in a couple more days, Samantha's Revenge I played. Just an amazing moon mod that released a few days before Black Ops 3 did, got completely overshadowed. And my gosh, like I can't believe what he does. So if you haven't played it, John, this mod, as soon as you load up the game, the loading screen's a little different from the menu where you select it, but you get into the loading screen, it actually has an entire map layout of Griffin Station showing all the perks. It took an exo-zombie approach. You'd like that.
Ooh.
And you actually hear Maxis's final quote to start the whole map saying, like, if you were receiving this, then Richtofen has entered the device, and it says Samantha's Revenge at the top, and you see the Griffin Station logo rotating as you load in. As soon as you land in Area 51, the Big Bang Easter egg ends. The moon blows up. Samantha comes out of the pyramid. You're in Area 51. Just incredible presentation. All the zombies' eyes are blue. Black Ops 3 weapons, exo-zombie weapons are in there. They even had a Star Wars weapon in there. Just an amazingly interesting map. And this comes from data mining and reworking codes and pretty much stealing assets and reverse engineering it into these mods. Now, developers aren't really happy about that, but us as fans and gamers, we enjoy that. That's really, really cool that we get to play this incredible experience.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. I'm gonna actually need to play this with spring break right on the horizon. I'm definitely trying this out.
Playing his mods. If you could wait a second there, I can get the guy's channel, get that up so I can make sure it'll be linked in the description. Of course, again, you can go check out the video. I post it, and I'll be away this week, so there's another one scheduled for you guys to see. And it's just very, very excellent, very well done mods. His channel is I linked it a YouTube video.
We'll settle that later. It'll be in the show notes.
Yes, it will be in the description below. Also, make sure to get the timestamps. All right, that used to be Matt's job, but he's a miserable slacker. So.
Oh, it's my job now?
Yeah, it's now you've just been awarded timestamps.
Oh, god damn it! First you tell me I'm going to be a part of the podcast. I'm like, all right, great. I just got to show up. Then you tell me I got to assemble the video. Now you're telling me to find timestamps. Ugh.
Boy, it's a rough life.
It is.
And it's Dr. Little Robot is a YouTube channel in which it has, and I think he's posted on the forums as well. And very, very, and obviously it's not just him. He has a whole list of credits of people who have helped inspire him. Roland J. Rizzo's on there as well. Just top notch, though. Just incredible what he did with both mods. I can't say enough good things about this because to be honest with you, Roland makes great mods, but the presentations this guy's put on with these mods has just been like, wow. Like, really, really god darn impressed with, like, can you imagine the Black Ops 3 Easter egg quests we're going to get? Because it sounds like the PC mods, this has been going, the Black Ops 3 alpha testing, that's been going crazy. People have been, all these rumors coming out that it's been released, these tools and stuff like that, completely untrue. But supposedly, the next 2 weeks should start the alpha phase, and then beta will come out way later during the summer, and then it may end up releasing way after the fact when the game is over. That's the timeline it looks like for these Black Ops 3 modding tools. So that's something to be excited about, but be realistic that it's going to take a while. Very few people are going to get their hands on it, and eventually down the road it will release to the public. But more than likely, the life cycle of Black Ops 3 is going to be over with before we even get our hands to see this. But once we do, I just can't imagine. Like, what we have right now already, we weren't even ever supposed to do. Just an error in the code that was found last summer allowed all these mods to start coming and allow things to be stolen from Black Ops 2 and all that stuff to really flesh out Black Ops 1 mods. And it's just like, we're playing this game of catch-up. Like, we had World at War for 5 years, and now we've just had Black Ops 1, and the stuff is incredible. Full-on Easter egg quest. So I think it's exciting, very, very exciting for us to sit here and say, whew, we're going to get all kinds of mods. How interesting are these quests and maps going to be for the next 5 to 10 years? It's very possible that for the next 5 to 10 years, because that's the life cycle of World at War maps right now, we could have some really, really incredible maps. And more likely, it's going to be on the lower side to 3 to 5 years would be my estimate that it'll be relevant and interesting. 10 years is a long life cycle, and you'll probably be more around those games of, like, modding, like we would an Elder Scrolls game, like someone that would go back to Morrowind, and they're modding Morrowind. It's more because of the sentimental value, not because the graphics are gorgeous or the game plays that much better. It's because at the time you loved that game, and that's what I could see Black Ops 3 mods becoming down the line.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be we got a bright future ahead of with these mods. Like, I think like a lot of people are worried about Ghost. I'm not at all, because I know we're gonna have some nice stuff coming.
Right, I agree with you. So let's get into the next question here. Will the Razorback XR2 or P06 ever make it back into Black Ops 3 Zombies? Or make it into, he said back? No, ever make it into Black Ops 3 Zombies. Because they were never in. They were never in the game. In the public release. I'm sure the devs played around with it.
If they were in the game, I would have known about it. Because if they're multiplayer weapons, I've probably never heard of it. Like, I had to look these guns up before the show. And I definitely think they'll be in. Well, maybe not all of them. I definitely think Treyarch will be adding more guns. This is something they've done. Well, they didn't do it in Black Ops 1, actually, but they definitely did it in Black Ops 2. I believe the was it the P90? Or no, the PDW. The PDW was an addition.
It's zombies. You're talking zombies right now.
Yeah, I'm talking zombie weapons.
We also got the Scar 8 showed up.
The SVU, the Scar, you're right.
Yeah, the Scorpion Evo was another one.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty of guns showed up for multiplayer that weren't originally in there, so absolutely.
Yeah, like, I don't know if these will be the weapons, we'll see, but I definitely think Treyarch will be adding more weapons, especially period-specific weapons, which they've neglected on lately.
Yeah, they really have. They have not. We didn't get that MP40 variant or whatever it was supposed to be. The grease gun, I think some people were calling it, that Dempsey was holding in that poster. So it remains to be seen if Treyarch's going to continue with these ideas. Like, we had the MG08 in Origins and stuff that fit the era.
The Giant lacked any World War II weapons, I believe, and the only thing I can think of from Shadows of Evil was the what's its name?
The
bootlegger. The bootlegger.
Yep. Yeah.
Which was basically a Type 100.
Yes, absolutely, and I absolutely loved it. And there's something still so special about World at War weapons. It's so strange to me that using World War II weapons in zombies is incredibly fun. Like, when I was playing, again, the PC mods and stuff like that, I got an MG42, and I'm just like, where's this been? Like, why does this gun feel so... It must be the nostalgia. It must be.
Definitely.
Because I do not like the Black Ops 1 weapons. I really enjoyed the Black Ops 3 weapons. The Black Ops 2 weapons is hit or miss. So it's just like, war weapons don't have this weird sense of charm to it, this old nostalgic sense of charm that I really try and separate myself when I'm trying to grade these maps, but it's perfect when we're in these eras. Why not bring it up? You bring up a great point there. Why not have an MP40 again in the maps? We've seen it to death, though, so
I find the Black Ops 1 weapons to be so goddamn boring. Especially the ones that they brought back in Black Ops 2, like the FAL and the Galil.
Oh, God, yeah. It's not terrible, but I think Milo...
No, they're good. They're good
really
weapons.
Likes Black Ops 1 weapons, and I just don't understand it.
I don't. Not at all.
Because one of the biggest complaints was multiplayer, every gun felt the same. And that was the same deal in Zombies, and it just felt like you were shooting them with BB guns. Like, every gun felt the same, and you weren't killing. Like the AUG or the FAMAS, and they didn't have large enough clip sizes to even try and use these weapons for higher rounds.
And they just feel stale now. I don't know. I don't have an issue with the Black Ops 3 weapons so far. The Black Ops 2 weapons, certain ones I really enjoyed. Like, I love the PDW. I really enjoyed the SVU, the Scorpion Evo. I guess the DLC weapons are what the KSG.
KSG, Scar. Oh yeah, I forgot about the KSG. Scorpion Evo and MG08 are like my favorite guns of that game. They all came in Origins. They were excellent additions.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's just because they were refreshing and they were exclusive to that map. So you only use them when you were playing it, and that was if you were lucky enough to get it from the box. Because some of the weapons like the KSG were super rare, I felt like.
Really? No, you could dig up the KSG.
Oh, well, I couldn't. I wasn't that lucky.
Oh, man, you're lame. No, you just get the golden shovel, and I don't even think you need that much. Oh, no, it is golden shovel. Yeah, you do need that. Yeah.
Well, that's like 50 dig sites.
I have no idea what it is. No one knows what that is. It's not... Even the data miners don't know. So that's what bothers me. So when people say these things about Easter eggs, and they're like, the data miners haven't found it, and this shit they still haven't found. Like, I'll ask these guys, and I'll be like, hey, can you tell me this number? And they'll be like, nah, it's an engine. I can't tell you. And you're just like, what? What? I thought you could data mine. They're like, that's not how it works. And it's just like, I
thought you have the all-seeing eye of God. I thought you knew everything. Right.
So it's not the case. And that's why with these Easter eggs we haven't solved and people being like, it would have been found already. It's like, I find it hard to believe that Treyarch can't figure out ways around what we already know. I mean, what ended up happening, people were ripping texture files from Horizon Drock, and they just hotfix something in and just block this entire third-party software that can't rip anything from the files anymore. You can't get any of those pictures.
Yep, my bad. Personal apology to the community. My bad.
And it's like, well, you really don't think these people that are developing one of the most successful games out there aren't intelligent enough to find workarounds to hide Easter eggs and their code inside the games they ship off to PC? Like, they could literally make something exclusive for PC that really makes it difficult for them to data mine and figure out all these features even later on. So it's just like, we even have no clipping. No one can get a decent no clipping. No one can get true World at War or Black Ops 1 no clipping. Like Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3 no clipping is this bastardized version, whether it's mod menus or this zero gravity stuff. They can't get it, and it's because Treyarch doesn't want you to. They don't want you to be able to no clip, and I can't blame them. It's their game. I mean, you shouldn't be breaking it as bad as it is. Like, I can't see them supporting that. But mod tools might be our answer.
Tell me this in the chat. Have we found a workaround for their workaround yet?
No.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if there was an answer that you were allowed to share or not.
No, definitely not. No, they're so bitter about that. All right. So the next question here actually comes from someone that loves to send me theories all the time. I think he's NPC Gamer. Let me just make sure I get his name.
Is it MCP?
MCP Gaming.
I'm familiar with this name, I think.
Yes, he's very active. He tweets almost all the zombie YouTubers all the time. And he suggested to me, because I made a video about the summoning key and who's actually still inside the summoning key, because I think it's a perfect point. If you guys don't know the background on this, I can explain it in a short amount of time here. The summoning key in Shadows of Evil, there's 5 sacrifice rituals that take place. The 4 unlock Pack-a-Punch. And the reason we do that, I believe, is so it allows a Shadow Man to use a Gate Worms to summon, or at least shift the Overlords into Morgue City's world and assimilate that world. That's what he says. Thank you for your source. The Overlords, the assimilation of your world can now commence. So the whole point of those rituals was to get the Gate Worms to summon our Overlords to come over here and try and absorb the world. Great. During these rituals, we see the summoning key act as blades, these razors come out where all the Apothicon language is on the summoning key. It cuts up our sacrifices, those people that are close to our characters, the main characters of that map, and they explode into this blood. The blood seems to go into the summoning key or near the summoning key, and then a gateworm comes down. In my head, the blood, the killing of that thing, that ritual is just for a gatekeeper. Nothing else. No souls are being stored inside the summoning key. So all 4 of those processes, no one goes inside the summoning key. Now people will then say, but the Shadow Man. The Shadow Man goes through the same process in the Easter egg and becomes a giant gateworm. This gateworm is then later destroyed. You run a train through it, and then the keepers blow up or save the apocalypse or prevent the apocalypse by you shocking them in your beast mode form. They have their Apothicon swords, and they knock the overlords out and save the world. At no point do we see the summoning key take the soul of the Shadow Man in that process. Even when the gateworm is destroyed and then the keeper comes down at the top and he has his summoning key in his hand, it's glowing maybe, but it's just a typical shimmer we saw to start the map when nothing's going on. When we see Dempsey, when Richtofen goes to Dempsey 1.0 and takes his soul, we see a clear glimmering of the process. We see what's going on. When Richtofen lifts everybody up in 0 gravity, we don't see that glimmering. We don't see when he's using the functions of the summoning key, we don't see the soul come out of a body or anything, that golden glow, and go into the summoning key. So I reason only Richtofen 1.0 and the Giant, which we couldn't see because Treyarch was hiding that ending, and Dempsey 1.0 went into this summoning key. This is what makes perfect sense. What this blood theory is suggesting is that this blood actually powers the summoning key, and that is why Richtofen has the blood vials of the Mob of the Dead inmates. We don't know why it's the Mob of the Dead inmates, but maybe he's using those blood vials. Maybe they're needed for what his final plan is to use the 1.0 versions that he's collecting inside the summoning key, their souls, later on. And that sounds plausible to me. But to take it a step further, we see that it needs to be charged. The summoning key is put into the NPD to be charged, and then into the computer to be charged as well at the end of the Derize and Drock Easter egg. We see that the keeper, we assume that was all the way at the top, that got all 3 of the keepers below him. When you shock them, they glow, and then you see that light come up, that red beam that comes up that also teleports. It's the same red beam from Shadows of Evil that you see in Derize and Drock when they teleports the keeper to the moon and back. We actually see that beam go up and hit one keeper at the top. We may be able to assume that keeper holds the summoning key at that point, and the summoning key is what's blowing back the Overlord, and that's what's actually what gets rid of the Overlord and saves the world, and that's why he floats down and the summoning key comes there before Richtofen snags it. So there's many points and counterpoints. We don't really have enough information about it, but that's where we're coming from. Now you're all filled in. So now, John, what do you think?
My only issue with this is, if blood was what powered the summoning key, and if blood was important, why was it never important prior to this point in the story? For example, everything we ever power is with souls. The pyramids were powered by souls. Where else do we use souls? I'm drawing the blank right now. Sheesh, I don't know.
The origin boxes we use.
That's right,
souls.
the origins boxes.
There was lots of soul points that we've had to do. Let's see. I'm trying to think too as well. That's very interesting. We've had quite a few maps. I know in Transit we had to kill zombies underneath.
That's right.
Spires to charge that.
I'm sure we've done it in Buried and Die Rise.
I'm almost sure in every map of Black Ops 2 we had some variation of soul gathering, whether it was in Buried we had the jar we had to do with the witches or the zombies. Not the jar, it was the lantern step. Die Rise, we had to use the zombie souls when we were flipping them at the pylon. Mm-hmm. So it's very common. Mob of the Dead, we use it to charge souls for the dogs and stuff like that. So you're right.
It
use
definitely the souls to power one of the fire stave jars. I think. I don't know. I was drawing a blank with the souls because every goddamn custom map and its mother includes a soul chest.
Yes,
they love to, and they love to crank up that number.
Oh, Roland.
I just
can't believe his 200 on one of his maps. 200 per chest, and there's like 8 chests. What the fudge?
I just think if the blood was important, we would have used it in previous Easter eggs. Not that I'll say the Mob of the Dead blood isn't important. I just think it's not important enough to power the summoning key. I think it serves a different purpose.
Very interesting. I'm of the belief that still I think the summoning key does not function off the blood, and the purpose of the key is very ominous still. We don't have enough information to really pinpoint how it works and what's going on, but I can't buy into this idea that Dempsey and Richtofen are in their 1.0 souls are inside the summoning key, along with the Shadow Man and the 4 other people sacrificed. That just doesn't. That's not the storytelling doesn't click there for me. It's not like that doesn't seem like the narrative Treyarch's been giving us. It doesn't fit the context, and they're pretty goddamn good about their continuity.
That makes you're right. It's difficult. I don't know.
But it's an interesting topic, so I think it's worth mentioning in that regard. For the next question, what theme do you want the next map to be? Jungle, swamp, lava, snow, urban, underwater, etc. Let's say, John, just for the sake of argument, the next map is a jungle. All right, so we won't say a jungle. The next map's going to be on an island, jungle map, whatever that is. Let's forget that. All right, and then we also have a city for Stalingrad. Forget that as well. Forget those maps. What do you want your next map to be?
Fuck, you just got me thinking about Stalingrad. Stalingrad is going to be cold and it's going to be snowy. It has to be. It has to be.
It doesn't though, because there's
historically it does,
seasons. Though. No, it doesn't. If it's summertime, it's fine.
When was the Battle of Stalingrad? I gotta look this up now.
Yeah, it was during the winter.
I knew because nobody.
But it was long. It was long though. I'm not sure because I just studied this, but that's what they got bogged down to, and many people froze.
August through February. So you're talking the fall, as well as the winter. That's gonna be a cold and snowy map unless we're there August 23rd, 1942.
Well, why not?
Why not? I'm praying, fingers crossed. It's a sunny August. I don't even know if it's sunny in Stalingrad during August.
The only problem with Stalingrad is the whole city is reduced to rubble. So you're going to have to do all kinds of stuff below ground. And it just defeats the purpose of even doing a city at that point. Like, there's no buildings left in Stalingrad. That Battle of Stalingrad was massive, but the death count, the amount of fallout is insane. And there's nothing interesting. Like, we're not going to get our Nazi scientist labs unless it's all underground stuff. So...
yeah. Unless like the buildings were there and then they got destroyed during the war and we're playing through the rubble, which I think would actually be kind of interesting. I would be okay with that.
It has potential. It can be done right, but I mean, like...
Ooh, what could be done is we have interactable maps where we can actually create some of the destruction ourselves and open up new areas of the map. That would be interesting.
Oh, I'd love that. I've always been a big fan of these dynamic maps. I think people have heard me talk about this for ages. But I love the idea of like a comet coming down and smashing Jug, and Jug's not available for 2 rounds, and the map's constantly rotating. That's what I loved about Exo Zombies. When certain areas would get blocked off, that was cool to me. That was really, really cool. I wasn't a big fan of how they did it. Just mustard fart gas comes out, and you're like, oh, great, there goes that area. But if you really had that beautiful display of like, everything's electrified in this area, or a giant 115 meteor smacks down and you can't get through that door anymore, there's no way to get around, and a cave collapses in, like, there's so many ways you can play with this. So why not?
Let's get to the actual question though. Like, what do I want to see?
Yes
Definitely not snow. I don't want anything snowy. And I don't know if I necessarily want a jungle map, because I'd be happy enough with, I think, the island map that we're getting, as well as Shangri-La.
Yes.
The only environment I don't think we've ever really played around with would be like a desert, or possibly like an Australian outback type thing. I don't know. That might be interesting to play with.
I like that idea a lot. I'm a big fan of that. Like, people have kicked around Egypt. That's someplace I've always been very excited about. Atlantis, obviously, you're going to hear Reed talk about Atlantis. If it ever comes up. Underwater maps, I think, have such incredible potential, especially if you think about the Disney Atlantis movie. They could set it up perfectly where you're underground and you have the almost Aztec-like feel to it, where the whole place seems like it has this crazy advanced technology, and yet there's so little electricity working. It's completely advanced and things that we don't understand, but it's all still based in this Aztec-type world. And then you can have water above you, just a sphere of water, and this just one city, this one advanced city that's raised above and stuck leagues and leagues, 1,000 leagues under the sea or whatever it is. Just it's just beautiful what you can do with lore. There's so many things you could throw left and right, the manipulation of the Villia, and you could have all kinds of 935 research, or maybe they never even hit Atlantis. But then again, Hitler had people he tried to find his researchers, he had them investigate all kinds of myths, and of course people were trying to find Atlantis, the Holy Grail. People were investigating this, the SS and whatever special groups he sent out there. Why not play off that fact and say, let's twist the story like we used to and say they did find that. That's what they did in Derice.
Well, that was the whole story. That's where it all came from.
Absolutely, that they chase these things with Diaglock and aliens and levitating machines and stuff like that. That's all documented stuff that the Nazis tried to research to win the war, and that's what the basis of our story's on.
I don't know if I like an underwater map, though, because we had an underwater map in Exo Zombies, and it didn't feel like an underwater map.
Yeah, because it was in another facility. And also, Exo Zombies doesn't give you a chance to really take it all in because you're go so much. You don't get that breath to really research and look around these areas.
But we were underwater, though, and it didn't feel like it, and I worried Cherrick would fall into the same trap. Like, maybe we'll be able to look up and, oh, look, suddenly there's a glass ceiling. But unless they're actually incorporating the swim mechanic, I don't know if it'd really be an underwater map. And I don't know if I don't know if I want the swimming mechanic in Zombies.
I think it's totally fine to have a swimming mechanic in certain areas that, like, zombies won't be attacking you in the swimming area. Think about this. It's just a bleed out thing. You can't stay down there the entire time because you'll suffocate. So all it is just a transition to go from one area to the next. You might have a little time in there and you can't abuse it. There's zombie spawns that are just going to mess you up as soon as you get out. So you can't just keep going back and forth and hiding down there for your 15 seconds of breath or whatever it is, your bleed out time. It could be a way to get to Pack-a-Punch like we discussed before on previous podcasts. They can play with it. There can be something where you go down, like even in Exo Zombies. When we went outside, that was one of the coolest parts of the map. We went outside to do something part of the Easter egg. We got in a Goliath suit and did that. What took away from Exo Zombies, in my opinion, for that map, we could surface. You're not immersed. You don't surface. If you're in Rapture, you're not just getting in a bathysphere and going to the surface. No. You're stuck there, all right? Certain things will collapse in, and you are now drowning to death. You go outside. We saw this happen with a Bioshock 2, and the Big Daddy was fighting the Big Sister in one of the opening scenes. She cracks the glass, and now you're outside at the bottom of the ocean, and then you come back inside. That's a much better situation going on. And having this high-tech thing ruins the atmosphere. Having that Atlas base down there completely destroyed that atmosphere for me. Like, if you have these ancient temples down there, like almost the Dreisendrach, what is it? The Undercroft area. Yes. Yeah. If you have pretty much that design all there, all these, I mean, in both maps we've actually got that now. In Shadows of Evil, the same thing with the Keepers down there, their area. I mean, it's perfect. That's exactly what you want to see for an entire city under the sea. That is the theme you should be looking for. I think that has a lot of winning potential, and that's where I would want to see for a future map. The cards are on the table, and people have been dying for this map. They could easily deliver on something as big as Atlantis.
They could, and I think it'll play a lot like Moon if it were to happen like that. Certain areas you can.
Think about it, Argatha, center of the Earth, and all this. There's just so much lore with the storyline they can just kill it with.
You there?
Yeah, you there?
Yeah.
That was the most awkward pause ever. That's right around 33 minutes.
Yeah,
Make sure to edit that out.
We'll cut that out.
Okay.
All right, we'll jump into special ammo. I don't know. I was expecting you to carry it into the next topic.
I should have. I didn't know. I didn't know if you wanted, because I cut you off a little bit, so I thought you had a little more to say.
No. All right, whenever you want.
Okay, we'll get back to this. I heard a baby cry in the background. Is it you?
Oh, that's my sister. Let me shut my door. I didn't realize you could hear that.
No worries. Okay.
All right. Yep. Shut the door.
Yep. 3, 2, 1. And that leads us into our next topic here about the special ammo balancing. So this was really unique that during that update when they balanced the Panzer, they also balanced the special ammo. And what they actually did is they actually took Blast Furnace and they toned it down a little bit, but they also bumped up Dead Wire. Oh my lord. Do you want to talk about that, John?
Yeah, I really enjoyed this new Dead Wire buff. I was using it the other day, and I think it's particularly effective with a shotgun. for some reason, I seem to be getting a lot of dead wire bullets in my gun. So I just take one shot of the shotgun, and boom, half the horde is gone with a single bullet. It's fantastic. I was never a huge fan of Blast Furnace. The only reason I ever used it was because everybody told me it was the god gun or the god ammo type, I guess. And it was certainly effective, but it wasn't to me like, oh geez, we have something great on our hands. But the new Deadwire certainly does.
Fantastic. I really enjoy it. It doesn't seem like Turned still plays the same. It seems like you can have maybe two going at the same time, but that's something that was already previously implemented. They haven't messed around with that. And the other ones, Thunderwall, as usual, does exactly what it is. That balancing is just fine. So it was really fine-tuning how Blast Furnace was very, very overpowered and Deadwire was very, very underpowered. So I appreciate that. And I'm glad Treyarch continues to update these things. The Panzer, for instance, as well, he got tweaks in which apparently you keep running so you can run faster. It's much easier for you to get away from the Panzer's flamethrower, but he's not as accurate with his bombs anymore or his 115
God, he was
vial.
A freaking sniper.
Dude, I was amazed at his ability to predict where I was going to step next. That was really impressive to me, that the AI could do that. I was like, mwah, wow.
Now, do you think they'll nerf Deadwire?
No, I don't think they will, because I don't think it's that overpowered. What you're experiencing with that shotgun is what I experienced with any of them using the Haymaker. It's like one shot. Your first shot is going to be it, then you wait. And then since you wait it so long, and if you reload during that time, it's going to be your first shot all over again. And it's sort of how the system works. Where if you get like an automatic rifle or you get any that's some machine gun, those things, you're going to put a lot more bullets in. You're not going to get as many. And that's just the way these elemental pack-a-punches have worked. And it balances it out in the sense that now you have a gun that has 800 ammo in it, whatever the stock is, Athena's arrow, and you're killing all these zombies, and every 10th bullet you're getting electrical damage, or it's probably more than that. While the shotgun, you really don't have that much ammo, but every other bullet is special. So now it's kind of giving you that I can get the LMG and kill a lot of zombies, or I can get a shotgun and kill the same amount of zombies. They're giving you a lot of tools to play, in my opinion, and I like that.
It's making me use shotguns a lot more. I felt like in the past, shotguns were something you never touched unless you just happened to get it from the mystery box.
Absolutely.
But now I like it as a nice sidearm. I'll keep it with me, especially when I'm facing off against a Panzer, because I know that might get me out of a jam faster than, say, a ray gun, because I don't have to worry about splash damage.
All of them play great. The Argus, the Haymaker, and I forget the last one off the top of my head. Actually, there might be KSG, and then there's actually another one. They're all they're great. They're
the Argus is growing on me. I didn't use it much at all for probably the first 2 or 3 months of the game, but as of lately, I've used it twice in my past couple games. And there's just something fun about firing a single shot and then having to recock the gun.
I love it.
I love that action.
It gets into the trench gun deal where
Definitely.
It's just every time you're shooting, you feel great. And then you got your double tap, you got your speed cola, and it's boom, you just crack shit going and going and going. And you're like, yeah, I love it. It's any way to make the game fun.
It could use a little bit of a faster fire rate, though. It's not good to camp with. You can't camp with it like you can other shotguns.
Well, it depends. Have you unlocked the the fire rate attachment?
I haven't. I just started using it now.
Yeah. So when you get that, then tell me, because I'm pretty sure it works out really well. Because I've had it completely maxed out, and the thing it can really tear through a round in the 25 to 30 era. I don't have to use another weapon. And I
want to try that.
Around.
That actually, I'm excited for that now. I got to level that up more. The trouble is I'm jumping back and forth between PC and PS4 a lot more now. So I'll do a lot of progress on one thing, go over to the next console, and oh man, it's all gone. I got to start over. That's my only frustration right now. I've
just got that where I'm now running into games, and I'm trying my best on PC. By the way, how do I play Shadows of Evil and get to round 33 my first time, and I'm ranked 4,000 on PC? What is that about? Come on, PC.
Is that low?
God,
that has
really
to be
low.
Yeah, I don't ever look at the leaderboards. There aren't
4,000 for round 33.
There's not as many players. It's a much smaller player base.
One of my friends on that list, it was 61. He was ranked 409. I'm like, what? What? Are you kidding me? There's at least 800 people tied for 61 on PS4. It's crazy to me but it shouldn't be crazy because the PC community doesn't get much love from Call of Duty games. So
yeah,
it makes sense.
Currently, there's only 15,000 people playing Black Ops 3 on the PC, and
That's
the total number of players was 16,000. Well, that puts it in the top It's probably
That's the whole
probably 20 on Steam right now. But what are the numbers on console? They don't give them out anymore, do they?
Yeah, I don't know how to check that anymore. No, I have no idea.
Because it used to be displayed right in the main menu. I missed that.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool.
Playtime. Modern Warfare 3 used to have that, and I don't know why I liked it.
Nope.
Because it probably meant I should get out more, but I liked it.
You can find your playtime. You know that, right?
No, I don't.
Oh yeah, so you go into whatever it is, like you press your. Where's my button here?
Can I do it for Black Ops
options? 1? Yeah.
That I want to know.
Black Ops 1. Yeah, it should be in there as well. I can't tell you right now because I have to look around for it. But I know for Black Ops 3, you go options and you scroll over to barracks, and if you hover over whatever game mode, it tells you how many hours you've put in each game mode.
Oh, I want to figure that out.
Yeah. So you'll be nice, and it's an easy addition, and they might have an overall thing as well in the barracks of how long you've played. But that's been in there, and I know it's been in there for the past all the Treyarch games as far as I know.
I like that then.
Good stuff. All right, so for our very final topic to address here, oh boy, apparently people have been publicizing this idea that there's another step to the giant Easter egg, and they've been citing what I believe to be a texture glitch where you fire the Wunderwaffe off a bunch of times, and then you down yourself, or you turn on the trap by the bridge that forms. When you turn on the power, you get the bridge that connects what was what perk was there? It connected Jug to Double Tap. That's what it was in the original Derice World at War version. That bridge there, when you turn that on, you start getting little lightning. That Wunderwaffe shot stays at the bottom of one of the electrical, what do you even call it, streams that are coming down to the ground. Just one of them has that thing sitting there and manifesting its texture and glowing and sparking. There's no audio cue, there's no character cues, there's no visual cues besides that, obviously enough. There's no weapons you gain, there's nothing in the code before data miners, I've started to get these people, like before Treyarch really took actions to stop data miners from actively figuring out all their stuff. I don't see an Easter egg in the Giant, even though people are also claiming that there's a Dark Ops. Sorry,
that's what I knew about. I didn't know about the texture glitch because I've just stopped. I've ignored them at this point. There's so many, and they're so silly. If somebody is claiming to have found the next step, I automatically just write it off because people have done that 10,000 times. You're the boy who cried wolf at this point. I will give the Dark Ops achievement a little bit more merit than all the others. But
it's not there yet.
Yeah.
The thing is, it doesn't show up anywhere, and supposedly it's hiding in the code. And Treyarch's waiting to release the giant Easter egg for later on.
It's like, why are they waiting though? That doesn't make sense. I don't understand why Treyarch would want to do that.
The only way Treyarch that makes sense that they're waiting is it's the same reason in the giant trailer we don't see Richtofen take out the summoning key and take the soul of Richtofen 1.0 because it spoils the ending of another Easter egg, and they're just waiting to show the story and then have a repeat of what we did in Buried, where you have to go back, put some nav cards in, turn some lights on, do all the Easter eggs a certain way. They might be doing that in a different sort of perspective. That's the only way I see this happening, is that they're waiting to make this giant thing available once you complete DLC 3.
But
and
then
that'll make everything
we do
ready
see
for
Richtofen
DLC.
go up to his body, though. Like
we do, but we don't see the summoning key, right?
We don't need to, because then that would have spoiled what happens in Der Eisendrache.
Exactly. That's exactly the point, though.
Well,
That's
but that wouldn't lead me to believe that there'd be an addition to the Easter egg. There's no.
So
that logical jump doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, so let me try again. Where I'm coming from in this idea is that in the trailer, it would have been better for them storyline-wise to show Richtofen taking the summoning key, and that would make sense from the storyline to us. We'd get a very clear-cut thing. Treyarch doesn't want to do that because that ruins presentation. If Richtofen sits down, takes Richtofen 1.0 soul, you're spoiling everything. There's no surprise there. And the reason he doesn't bring up the artifact in the giant, except in one quote he has to Nikolai, we don't see it act in any way, is because on day one, I could have the giant, and if Richtofen's talking about the summoning key and being in Shadows of Evil, that is ruining the surprise at the end of Shadows of Evil.
Yes, exactly. We're on.
Okay, so you're on the page with me there. So if the Easter egg in the Giant, the Dark Ops achievement in the Giant, is somehow a spoiler for future maps.
Okay,
it somehow
now I think
impacts
I understand where you're
future
going with
DLC maps. They're gonna wait. They're gonna say, all right, once we drop the bomb in DLC 3, then we'll release this thing. Like I go back to the Giant now, and holy crap, look at this. If I do the Samantha Says Easter egg, or excuse me, the Flytrap Easter egg,
blow up the moon.
Something else, yeah. The moon will blow up, or it's not there anymore. Something will be impacted. I don't know what. And it's not going to be the same nav card thing, but I could see that idea that now we're going back and they've messed with it in some shape, way, or form. Is it likely? Not at all. I don't think that's the case. But that's the only out, the logical out I can see for them saying, I'm going to hold on to this Easter egg. I'm going to hold on to all of our stuff. We're not going to release the Wonder Weapon in Shadows of Evil. We're not going to do any of that stuff until a certain point in time. Like, there's a rumor going around that inside the code, Treyarch has a thing that says, if you're online, you can't upgrade the Wonder Weapon. Why? Just because they're waiting? I think we talked about this last week, and it's just like, that doesn't make sense. Unless they're holding off for something else that's going to play a bigger role in some master plan of storytelling they're trying to keep later on. They're big about ruining spoilers. That's why they don't like data mining. It spoils everything they're trying to teach us in this game. Because once it's spoiled, there's no magic to zombies. If they just tell us everything, this game loses all interest in its following. So it's completely against their best interests to sit here and spoon feed us or let go of all these ideas or tell us straight up, oh, this is how the story goes, all right?
Well, these additions better be pretty damn good if they're going to withhold it like this. I don't like it from a player perspective. I'd rather this stuff now. Like, I guess I don't want the story spoiled. I do not want Treyarch to ruin future DLC by including something into an Easter egg. And if that was the case, then I think they just need to create a new Easter egg. You don't have to create an Easter egg that spoils everything.
I agree, and that's why I don't think
maybe they're being a little too ambitious if that's the case. Which I don't want to fault them for being ambitious, but I kind of fault them for withholding stuff like this.
If that's the truth, though.
Yeah,
if
of
that's
course.
The assumption.
We
don't know.
For all we know, they just ran out of time and unfortunately couldn't create an actual Easter egg, and maybe then they're going back and adding something, which I'm okay with.
Right. I mean, if it's the whole fact that they're going back and adding the Easter egg, which I think is the most likely out of all these options, that if they're like, hey, it seems like the community really, really likes this idea of adding more to the Giant. We have some time. We have a good story to tell. Let's do it. That seems more likely than this whole conspiracy theory of they're withholding maps and achievements from us and their secrets. It's like, no. It's really not likely that's what Treyarch would be doing.
It doesn't make sense from a storyline perspective, though. If there was going to be a massive Easter egg in the Giant that rippled through the rest of the zombie storyline, it would make no sense if they included it after the fact, because then how did that impact the rest of the game? It didn't. Like, maybe it might unlock something.
Unlocking something or cycle paradox. That whole idea like Interstellar, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's the only way I could see that implement it, is just like that idea of you're sending yourself to space. It's inevitable, but what came first? Is like, well, he didn't go to space until he sent himself to space, but how? And that's the time paradox. That's exactly what we get into. And again, I just don't see it as the answer. I think it might come in an update at best. Anyway, that was Zombroz. Do you have any lasting thoughts, John?
No, I don't think so. I think we had unfortunately, we were down a member, but I think we had a pretty good show, just you and I.
I loved it. It was a great discussion. I hope you guys enjoyed. I am very excited to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. You can check out Johnny and my channel in the description down below. Hopefully we'll have our time card stamps for all you guys, so you can just click around to whatever part of the video you want to hear about what topic. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you have questions, leave it in the comments below. I read through all the questions on my video, John's video, and wherever this thing gets posted, Matt's video, sometimes the other channels as well. So I look through, and sometimes you guys have interesting conversations. But I take the best questions I can, and we try and answer them. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week on the next episode of Zombroz. Bye.